Oh, excuse me. All right, let's go. What's up, everybody? Woke up early this morning, went to the doctor's office, not an appointment, but went to the doctor's office for some stuff. Had some breakfast before I left. Came home, was gonna work out, but my fiance is available to work out after she gets off work today. So gonna wait to work out, go with her. It's really fun. We get to reclaim time that we would be spending apart as time that we get to spend together doing something that we both enjoy. It's good to have things you're into, but I love her and I love spending time with her, and it does make me sad that sometimes even when I'm at the gym, I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why don't we do this together? My workout stuff has gone through different transitions, and now I'm in a place where it's more enjoyable for her to come work out with me than not. And so that's cool. So that'll be in a couple hours, around 3-ish or something. So I'm gonna be doing that and just gonna be studying until then. We have, what do we got on the docket? We have the Negative Affect, Queer Aesthetics, and the Illuminations of Cleanness article by Christopher Queen for the Medieval Studies, as well as the Power of Images text that I was reading yesterday. Going to finish Power of Images, then move to the Negative Affect, then check out the Pearl manuscript, Auchinleck manuscript, and Vernon manuscript, all medieval manuscripts in different national or renowned libraries. After that, I'm going to get started on my readings for my Renaissance Lit class. Once I'm done with the readings for those, because I'll probably be back and doing this stuff maybe again later this evening. But tomorrow's seminar, so I'll have all my readings done for sure. But then it's a question of when do I work on, when do I complete and finalize my abstract and title for my project for my Renaissance Lit class? Because I already turned up the writer for the project for the Medieval Lit class. So that's due on Friday. And it's not long or anything. It's not about length as much as it is about girth. Now it's more about the breadth of ideas that are covered and how those ideas are presented, not necessarily can you write a really long, abstracts aren't long to begin with anyway. So yeah, that'll be cool. And okay, cool, I think we're ready to go. Let's fucking just open up the Pomo Focus app. It's nice to just have it open, take up a window, be able to go back and forth instead of doing it on my phone. Kind of formalizes it, which for me is very helpful in study practice. Yeah, let's open up my notes real quick. Let's move the notes. I'm so fucking stoked they have this dual split screen view as part of the Mac operating system. That's pretty sick. I enjoy it. Sick is relative. It's so cool. I think stuff is cool. I be saying shit cool is cool just for fun, because I'm into it, I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go. That is so fucking stupid. How the fuck did that not knock it over? I'll be like moving around a little bit and it knocks over. I hit the whole table and nothing. That's crazy. Mm. Oh shit. I guess we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see what shows. That's a tough call, brother.
That's as good as it gets, honestly. And if they're the type of people to get offended, too bad, we're also the type of people to care when a dog is literally treated like shit. Honestly, we're being nice about it. Yep. Oh shit. They cited our professor in this article. The person who wrote this article is a professor at UCR, but they cited our professor in the article also. So it's cool to see these people's names popping up places. You're like, oh shit, okay, damn. That's like first, last, everything, dude. Yeah, so it's just to take care of it like shit. That makes me feel so much better about Tony because he's cool, but like that is atrocious. Was it really bad, like filthy back there?
I mean, it's probably this big.
Yeah.
And there's poop like poop.
Poor baby. What is he? What kind of dog? $150 says there's no way we give him up once he gets in our house. We're just gonna have a third dog. Whatever, man. We don't got no kids. And I mean, if he likes it at your mom's house and your mom falls in love with him when they're babysitting and we're in New York, like. Talk about it. Why? I mean, hey, did we do something or did we do something about it? Right? Love you. So I took the last break to just kind of chill with my fiance outside. We have a dog next door who is just like being not really treated well. It's like outside dog, very small area, covered in poop. We reached out to the neighbors to be like, hey, like, you know, we love talking to your dog through the fence, and we're just wondering if you're curious about rehoming the dog. And I don't know. I hope they're receptive. It just sucks to see animals not being treated well. And I'm not even saying that from like a particular lens of animal rights. Just like, how the fuck do you like? I don't know, man. Like, enacting violence on things that can't do anything about it. Well, it's not violence. It's not like they're beating the shit out of the dog or whatever. But just like, and let's say ill treatment. Enacting maltreatment on people is fucking horrible. When you see it done to animals, I don't know. There's like a lot of arguments made about like the ethical considerations that go into like very, very, very specific notions of like animal-human interactions. Like, you know, I need to eat, or balance the ecological, you know, maintain the ecological balance. But like, people who don't, like, your dog is chilling outside. It's been raining here, cold as shit. There's no blankets. It's covered in poop. It's like, the dog is, I can literally hear the dog crying next door. Like, the shit, it's unreal, man. Like, I don't get it. I don't fucking understand. So hopefully that goes well. Anyways, the readings themselves are sick. About done with the medieval literature readings. Have a dickload to go through for my Renaissance class. But that's cool. Working through the medieval lit stuff. Let's see. What did I have in my notes? So the articles are all kind of discussing, you know, the first article that kind of situates like why we read literature is talking about the value of enjoyment of literature and like affective responses and emotional experiences with literature as being equally important as the critical aspect of literature, and perhaps more important in engaging students to actually, you know, value the humanities, not just the skills they get from the humanities, that, you know, allow them to communicate clearer ideas. In what did it say? It gave a lot of information as to why we, you know, what we use humanities for. Things that you can, you know, oral communication, writing skills, critical thinking, formulation of ideas, examination of rhetoric, like all those kinds of things. People understand why all that stuff's important, but it's hard to explain it to the, like, at large, because it's like, you know why it's important, but people also look at it as like a luxury thing as opposed to like something that you do all the time. And I think it's because it creates this like false wall between like shit you like to read and shit you like, and thinking hard about shit that you read. I think that the article does a good job of explaining that like kind of false dichotomy, that false binary there. Like, enjoying things and being critical of them don't go hand in hand, and like enjoying things is less professional, but like enjoyment of less professional and critical reading, but like enjoyment as it's stated in the article, not necessarily like exclusively pleasurable, devoid of uncomfortability or a certain burden of work. But that's not what fun is. Fun is not like frivolous. Frivolity is a type of fun, but like there's so many different ways to have fun, you know? So many different aspects to it. I think it's an interesting argument, especially coming from like people who study medieval shit, which is like kind of hilarious, because I'm like, the people who study the dead white people the most are like, no, we shouldn't look at the critical end of things, we should just like have the emotional response, which is like, word, that's convenient. But that doesn't mean that the point is incorrect, especially not the way that the point is made. Like if I made that was my like key argument, like, oh yeah, like they're full of shit, I'm like, that's not being very genuine. I'm just saying that there's like a potential rhetorical counterpoint to like the fact that the good idea is situated in a place that when you move that enjoyment lens, you have that critical lens, you're like, oh shit ain't so sweet for a lot. And it's like, yeah, well, try to figure out a way like to deal with that. And then it moves forward to talk a lot about framework. The next article, Medieval Remediations, talks a lot about like the framework for texts being extremely important to the understanding of them. Like how the medium, Marshall McLuhan, medium is the message. The way something is put together is a big part of how people experience it. Hence, like the album rollout, or like album art, or so on and so forth. One of the examples I had was like that I brought up in seminar was Spotify, the like picture on some, or like the moving, the like reel that kind of repeats on like certain songs and shit. It's like album art for the single, or like Drake's Honestly Nevermind, like it goes like it bleeds down. Taylor Swift's Midnight's like they have those like 3 reels that like go with it. I don't know why, like that's part of it. It's like those things are also part of how people experience the song. If you hear it if you have a vinyl versus a cassette versus an 8-track player in a car versus a Zune, like it's gonna be different. The headphones you wear make it different. The place you're in make it different. The framework matters. Now, people are really cool about understanding that when it comes to like the stuff they ingest, but they don't understand that in terms of like the world around them. And they look at framework mattering as being like, oh, the framework by which you understand the world is necessary to your understanding of the world. But these other frameworks that are purported that counteract the way you look at the world are like less true or less like solid as frameworks. But like the shit is made of so many different frames. It's like when people say, the Judeo-Christian the framework is like the ultimate framework for Western society. The Islamic framework, the Hindutva framework, the this, the that. Everybody's got these like ideas of frameworks. What I'm saying is like the frame matters to the ideas that are created. And I think everybody's on board with that until they start talking about the way that they think. And it's like, yo, maybe like the shit, like who you are, how you interact with how you interface with your mind, your thoughts, your body, the world, can affect the quality, quantity, type of your ideas. It's like, yeah. It's like, okay, what about these ones that you feel super fucking strongly about? It's like, no, we're not gonna go near those. So that's kind of funny. And then it goes on to discuss the power of images and illumination. Basically, the first article that talks about images is discussing like the illustrations have a figural power that can educate laity, like the lay people, as regarding religion or like deep ideas. You can take shit that's like really hard to put into words, and you can give people images, and those can like help navigate that difficult space of like words and feeling to get you to a place that is filled with meaning, but not necessarily speechified or like literary in exacting sense. And like, back in the day, books used to be unable to be carried, handled, transported. They were insecure objects. You needed to have dedicated locations to like even look at them. So that like format determined a lot of how ideas were presented. And now it's kind of like, a lot of people like to talk a lot of people like to talk shit about like the way the internet is proliferated and the ability to generate information as being like, oh, it's all bad or something. But it's honestly, we don't know what it is. It's just an in-between stage. Like, I just found out that Chaucer was a very large part of why like Middle English came to the forefront as like preceding modern English, even though there were other languages at the time. It was medieval Europe was like a trilingual area, and Middle English was like just one of those languages. And like just so I don't know what images. Changing of media. Like you don't know what's going to be hot. You don't know what's going to be popular. You don't know what's going to be like influential, because all those things aren't necessarily all mutually exclusive. And then the one I'm finishing up right now is about negative affect, queer aesthetics, and the illuminations of cleanness. And it's the idea that like there are like a lot of crude drawings that are considered shitty. The argument here is that they represent complex and deliberate textual dialectic of the creator who's like making it, meaning that like, crude, clumsy, weird, amateur, queer, different non-normative ways of like drawing some shit. It's like, oh, because it's not considered dope at the time, it must be like meaningless, which is a weird conversation, because you can put out that's kind of what the internet's like now, right? Is like anybody can put stuff out, so there's like gonna be a lot of shined shit out there, but also there's a lot of like raw talent, and figuring out what the difference between like shined shit and raw talent is a very interesting thing to go through. Okay, so we're gonna get back to it. Let's go. Hello? Hello? Yes, but I received a call back. Yes. Yes. You're welcome. You too. Bye-bye. She's crazy, comma, that dog does not need to be with her, comma, point blank fucking period. Point blank and period. like we have a difficult time every day working. You know, I'd rather you hang out with us. You know, and just live here. That way, whenever he barks.
Alex said, "Don't mention the dog being alone or barking. Just lead with, hey, I got $50 and my puppy needs a playmate. Do we have a deal?"
Yeah. Our dogs get lonely together. I'm still on a little bit. You said 3 o'clock? 3 for sure? 3? Yeah?
That might be done a little later.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say to that.
You don't say shit. You just be like, I hear him bark every day. Like, I work from home. He's barking all day. Like, just say it however you want, you know? If he's providing pushback, just remember, like, he's not saying it for any, like, specific reason. The dog is not doing good, you know? It's like all yesterday, it was fucking crying. Outside. I could hear that shit in the rain. The dogs were tripping inside. I opened the back window and I just told the dog, I'm like, hey baby, it's okay. And then he chilled for a second, then he went. Like, fuck these people, man. Fuck their feelings, you know what I mean? What about that dog's feelings? They don't give a shit.
Should I respond?
Just be, I mean, if you do respond, I know that you can do it in like the most classy of ways, but if you do respond, just be like, the fuck he does only bark a little. Like, where the heck? Okay, so we are. What is it right now? 1:59. Excuse me. I'm teaching myself to read and write Hindi. This is, yeah, so you can kind of see it, but not really. Damn, what the fuck? That bright light? What the hell is that, dude? That's so weird. Yeah, it has it in Hindi. I mean, whatever. The Apple Watch and shit all comes with Hindi as well as Chinese, so I'm trying to put it on that also in the ones that I'm allowed to. And yeah, it's super cool. I now know how to write 1 through 10, which is sick. And like all the other numbers, I assume are an extension of such. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I don't know where that's coming from. I had a little bit of coffee, but I don't think it's doing shit. Yeah, just, I'm fucking pissed about this dog next door, man. Like, basically, it's not even the neighbor's dog. It's, like, the neighbor's sister's dog, and I guess they, like, share the lot next door has, like, room for both, and he's literally told Cass, like, oh, yeah, she's crazy. I'll talk to her and see what I could do, but, yeah, he doesn't bark a lot. I'm like, that's such bullshit. That dog is barking all the time. It was crying, like, all day yesterday in the fucking rain. Like, it just sucks, dude. I just don't get it. It's like parents who treat their kid like shit, and then they're just like, don't fucking tell me how to raise my kid. It's like, fuck you, dude. Like, I don't know. It's hard because you don't want laws to be set up in a way that encourages just like, oh, I can just say this and like let it rock and take it. Like, I don't want the law to necessarily uphold me just going over there taking that dog and dipping, because then it could happen to my dog. That would suck. But it just sucks that I can't have that. There's like the middle ground of trying to have people acknowledge their own inability to take care of something that is alive in a way that is like measurably shitty is unbelievable to me. People do that with a lot of shit, you know? They do that with a lot of things. They figure out ways to undercut arguments that directly hold them accountable and view it as like some kind of blame game or like forcing individuals to become complicit in like the fuck shit of the world we live in. I'm just like, I just don't see it. I just don't see how people avoid that accountability, avoid that type of, oh, what's that? Avoid that type of accountability. I can understand why. I suppose at a younger age, I definitely did. In my 20s, I definitely did also. It's not to shit on people for doing it. It's just like the degree to which you pain others in doing so. And as long as the idea of yourself is upheld within the constructs of your own mind rather than out here in the real world, in a world that, not to say that what's your conception of yourself in your own mind is not real, but if the interfacing between your conception of yourself within your own mind and the expression of that self to others is not like largely congruent, you gotta ask yourself, like, is the world fucked or am I being an asshole right now? And I like to think that's that critical gaze versus like enjoyment of reading thing too. It's like, yo, sometimes it's really important to be critical about the world around you, and sometimes it's just important to look at things from your own experience. And sometimes it's really important to look at the world around you and think like, how is this affecting me negatively? And then you got to think like, okay, how am I affecting me negatively? I'm not sure where that line is for people. Like, it's different for everybody, right? But trying to figure out exactly what it is, just like, you know, it's tough. I don't know. It's fucking making me sad. I want that dog over here so we can just hang out and be friends. This shit is, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's bugging. Anyways, I'm on done with the medieval lit shit, and now I'm on to the Renaissance lit shit. Shitty litty. And I'm going to, what's it called? I just started reading the first thing. The first article is a short piece, only about like 5 pages long or some shit. And then there's a bunch of others that are from, so the people we're presenting this week are both visually impaired, which is super, like, which creates this inroad for me to have, and for the course, all the people in the seminar to have this very, like, to have that mix of like first person direct lived experience and critical theory and awareness of disability and disability studies. And the people who are presenting, well, 2 of the people who are presenting are visually impaired, and in a relationship, which is, I think, I don't know, I've not would never want to like intrude as to how that dynamic comes into the theoretical frameworking of the discussion, but it's interesting to know that that is a component of the way the discussion is going to be constructed or presented. You know, because if you're with someone and you both share, you know, you have that shared lived experience as individuals that you can also share together as a couple, and then you also have similar research interests and are in the same program, like that's just like, I don't know, I find that super interesting, the non-duality of individual and unioned peoples together. So the book that one of the books for this week is Reframing Disability in Manga by Yoshiko Okuyama. Published by University of Hawaii Press in 2020, so it's hella recent, which is not the most I just haven't seen anything like that, or I haven't seen a lot of stuff that fucking recent. So that's cool. Not to have a recency bias, just saying, like, it's interesting that it stands out. And there's a bunch of shit from this book that's going to be brought up. So there's a chapter titled Theorizing Disability. It's about like 24 pages. A chapter titled Portrayal of Deaf Characters, about 22 pages. The intro, which is about 11 pages. And the outro, the afterword, which is about 8 pages. So pretty low-key, low impact shit there. And then another 20 pages, Queer Times, Queer Assemblages by Jasbir Kapoor. Jasbir. I'm thinking South Asian with that one. I mean, you know, that definitely, I don't know. It seems Jasbir Kapoor, US-based philosopher and queer theorist at Rutgers. That's kind of dope. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Damn, it just has her ideas, which is, I'm not trying to find an inroad based on her ethnicity. It's just every time I see an Indian person doing anything, I'm like, yeah. Oh, she's written widely on South Asian diasporic cultural production. Come on, dog. Boom, Dunzo. United Kingdom and Trinidad. She could be Trini. West Indian, right? That's our Trinidad's. Trini. Is Trinidad West Indies? I don't know why. I mean, I'm generally good with geography, but I'm just not sure. I don't know why. I don't know that. Are they? I don't... Yeah, southernmost island in the West Indies. Okay, so yeah. West Indies. What up? I don't know. It's like West Side Indians. What up? Nah. Totally different, but super interesting. This person is cool. I don't know what it is about South Asian, and maybe there isn't anything, but South Asians' particular relationship to post-coloniality, I feel like it makes it ripe for. Oh, Queer Times, Queer Assemblages on the wiki page. Analyzing war on terror as assemblage of racism, nationalism, patriotism, terrorism, already profoundly queer. Terrorist corporealities in opposition to normative patriot bodies. Discourses of counterterrorism are intrinsically gendered, race, sexualized, and nationalized. It's not wrong. Deleuze and Guattari as background vocals. Critiquing deployment of homo-nationalism in U.S. as justification to violently implement doctrine of American exceptionalism embodied in war on terror. Supposed liberal U.S. flaunts supposed liberal openness to homosexuality to secure its identity and contradistinction to sexual oppression in Muslim countries. Ooh, because then they can look like they're liberating oppressed women and sexual deviants, simultaneously papering over sexual inequality in the United States. Oh, okay. Manifest destiny, racist foreign policy, urge to document unknown and conquer it through queering identity. Huh. I'm still going to read it. This is not like a stand-in for the reading. This is just very interesting. I didn't even mean to get here. Huh. Damn, that's right, though. You know, that's that, man. That's what I think is that, like, non-duality in play is somebody looking at something like that and being able to, it's the being able to extract it using words and terminologies within like Anglophone lexicon, like within like English language. It's just super interesting. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Ascendance of whiteness, gay rights discourse, consumerism, war on terror. Heteronormative ideologies now find accompaniment from homonormative ideologies, replicating the same hierarchical ideals concerning maintenance of dominance in terms to race or class. I've associated this argument with queer Marxists. Ah, man, fucking Marxists, bro. Oh, am I on a break right now? Oh, yeah. So I'm probably going to call it after this break because I'm going to eat some lunch and then we're probably going to go to the gym and then I might be back for some more later. But, yeah, I don't know, man. This is the main, like the title for this episode is Something from Nothing. And it's got Yo Asakura on the front, a main character from Shaman King. And what I've always loved about Yo Asakura, something that I love with a lot of shonen manga characters, is that is like an instinctive, and this could be, look, like, they could be viewed as being like normative, hegemonic, like just reasserting the same fucking bullshit that culture continues to reassert. I don't think it's so. Just because of the way that I have had my own personal experience with viewing this shit. See what I did there? Bringing it back to the shit that I'm reading. And like, when I read Shaman King, it was probably like 03 when I first started reading it in Shonen Jump. 03, 06, something like that. And Yo's entire ethos of being is just like, I just want to chill. He's not like, I'm not going to fight. It's not like I'm not going to do incredibly difficult things. It's not that I'm not going to put myself through the blender. But I want to chill. Like, I want to enjoy myself. I want to have an easy life. A life of ease, I don't think necessarily precludes hard work. I think that it is only with the development of self, of character of self, that you are able to even ease through life. I don't think Yo's like, oh, I want to live in a world devoid of ease. It's more like he wants to be easygoing no matter what happens. Everything's chilling. When things get a little bit out of hand, he'd be like, oh, fuck, dude, I don't want to do that shit. But then he'll just do it. It's like, you know, people love the Goggins mentality, the David Goggins shit of like, oh, I stare at my shoes for 30 minutes, but I put them motherfuckers on and go. But they don't value that part necessarily as much as like the stay hard. But it's like Goku likes to chill, Naruto likes to chill, Yo Asakura likes to chill, Denji from Chainsaw Man likes to chill, Way of the House Husband dude likes to take care of the crib. Like, it's not Luffy likes to chill. Like, this chilling is important. It's understanding that there can exist all of these different ways of being within what people call like doing nothing. Because what is like doing nothing? And I'm not talking about it from this like super I don't give a fuck about anything relinquishing of responsibilities doing nothing. Though that can be considered as such as well. I'm talking about like the meditative being awake and doing things as if in a dream. Spike Spiegel talks a lot about that in Cowboy Bebop also. It's like, it's a dream I'm not going to wake up. Like, life is a dream I'm not waking up from. You know? It's like the veneer is there of ease. And underneath there's like, you know, there's all that like Jordan Peterson type fucking you gotta be a monster type shit. But it's not really like you gotta be a monster. It's just like, you know, like you don't have to fake tough. There's no fake tough. There's just working on whatever it is you want to work on. And if other people think that you're being lazy or some shit because they consider what you're doing nothing, but you know in your heart you're working your ass off, like there's no distinction to be made. I don't need to be successful within a very specific framework, whatever that might be, in order to be considered like worthy of existing, worthy of love. It's not to say that you cannot in instances be indulgent in pursuing such nothingness, pursuing such love for love's sake and existence for existence sake. But I think it's super fucking important, because, and when it's tempered by those kind of ideas, like the shonen idea that I get, which is just like whatever you love, whoever you want to help, make that a big focus. And when you are faced with the contradictions of your way of being, you know, kind of clashing up against another's way of being, perhaps those will be more readily resolved, if not left to exist in that state of unresolution. Excuse me. With like a more positive emotional affect, you know? Yo Asakura and Shaman King is venerated across the text for having infinite warmth. He's just warm. He's just happy. He doesn't need a reason to be happy. He doesn't need a reason to chase things. He just is. And that is challenged multiple times. That chill attitude is definitely challenged by like difficulty, as with any other manga, as with life or stories or whatever. But I just don't see, you know, the hero's journey as being the be all end all. Maybe there's other journeys, but you do, and like they're cool, but like you die mid journey, like you die after the journey's over, you die before the journey begins. What does the journey matter then? I don't know. It's that hard work versus work and play thing, right? What's more important, work or play? Like, I don't see them as separate. I see them as like two hands on the same body, like different. They're different, but they're connected. They're not the same. They are not different. They're different. They're separate but connected. They're simultaneous, so they're not different. I don't know. It's hard to understand. I just know that it's important to focus on that infinite warmth that does exist within all of us to be able to try and produce something from nothing, because that is what life is. A lot of people think like, you don't get something from nothing. You don't get something for nothing. But everything begins with something from nothing. We came from nothingness. We exist. We have no preclusion to that. The future is occluded. We're here. We have what we call conclusions. Well, how do we know? They're with other things that we either can see or can't see. They're not final. And I feel like people are always trying to figure out a way to justify why they should do some shit, instead of just doing some shit and letting the way they feel as a result of doing it be the justification in itself. And having faith, we have faith enough to say like, oh, if we do certain shit, we'll be valuable. But we don't have faith enough to say like, if we feel a certain way, we'll do things that will be valuable to us in the world. It starts with a feeling, right? And if it doesn't start with a feeling, the action, the deed, and the feeling are kind of connected. Like, I'm about to go to the gym. What if I didn't feel like going to the gym? I went anyway, and I feel better afterward. Right now, I do feel like going to the gym. Maybe I go to the gym, I go, and then I feel even better afterwards. Maybe I feel a different way than just good. You know? It's hard to figure out for me what comes first, the emotion or the deed. And I think the deed is for sure, but I don't think it's a question of comes first. There's so, like, the argument can be made for each so well and so thoroughly that they must almost have to exist in simultaneity to be that equally logical. I don't know. Anyways, good shit today. Kind of a short one right now, but I had some shit to do earlier this morning. Gonna get back on this probably like later this evening for a couple hours. We'll see what's up. Thank you for being here, you know? I love everybody in this bar. You know what I'm saying? One for the road,